Okay, so today we have the Syba 2.5 gig Ethernet card. I've been waiting for this for a little bit. I've been planning on upgrading some parts of my network to 2.5 gig, so I got a dual port for my Linux server that I have. We'll install this today. So this is just a dual NIC 2.5 gig Ethernet card. I want to be able to get better speeds between my PC and my server. This is based off the Realtek 8125 chipset. Okay, so we can take a look here. These are all the specs, and I think I only paid about $34 for this. It comes with a low profile PCI bracket, so if you have a smaller machine, not a full sized, it will fit in there. It's a pretty typical card. And so let's open it up and take a look at what we got. Okay, so let's open this guy up. It should be a pretty simple package. Nothing special. Okay. Introduction. Kind of what it does. Same stuff that's on the back. What we get. How to install and where to download the driver. There's a warning. Huh. Look at this. That's pretty funny. So the warning isn't really regarding a NIC. It's regarding a RAID controller. Before installing and activating RAID function, please make sure you have a complete backup of your existing data. I don't think I'm going to be doing any RAID functions with my network card. Okay, so this is going to be the low profile PCI adapter. Okay, so if you have a slimmer machine, you can use this guy. What is this thing? What is it? I've never seen one of these before. Driver and utility CD. What are you supposed to do with this? I'm just kidding, by the way. I still don't have a CD-ROM drive, though, in my house. Oh, wait, I might have an old laptop that has one. I'm pretty sure I have one laying around. We'll probably just download the drivers. Okay, and this is the card I'm dropping. It didn't go too far. That's okay. And so you can see this is a full size. There's the short. So we've got our two Realtek chips here. Put some light on this. And we can see here RTL 8125. And here's another RTL 8125. Okay, so this is an ASMedia ASM 1182 chip. And then the back. Like you'd figure that they could put this sticker flat sideways and not covering a bunch of chips there, but that's what they choose to do. Okay, so I will go grab the server, shut it down, and pop this bad boy in, see if it works. Okay, so we are logging into our Linux server here. Get this started up. We'll check our hardware. Before we shut it down, let's see how long it has been up and running. 78 days, not too bad for a home server. We'll check which PCI devices we have on the system. we can just see here that the NIC actually isn't installed yet, so we won't see it there. This is useful for when we do install it, we can see the difference. And then we'll go ahead and we'll shut down the machine. Once it's shut down, we will venture over to it and install the NIC into one of the PCI slots. Okay, so this is the old dusty HP Z400 server that I've got. It is packed to the brim with as many hard drives as I could fit in there. It's got an old Quattro FX 3800 card. That's the only video output it has. And just above that, it's got a SATA HBA, dirt cheap one. I think it cost me 25 bucks. So we're gonna open up the PCI lockdown, and I've just got some old tape covering up those cards because I don't have any plates for it, and the metal tape was just covering the holes there. We'll get our NIC card out and we'll install it. So we'll grab our NIC, and just underneath the Quadro card there's a PCI Express slot. I like this HP server. It is toolless and it's old, but it works well and it's been running for a while, so I don't need the screwdriver there. And we'll close it back up and we'll turn it back on. So you can see here it's just installed in the PCI 4X slot, just underneath the graphics card there. Here's a little quick tour of the machine. So this is where I'm going to be mostly storing all of my YouTube edits that I make. Okay, so we'll go around back here. We'll take our out of focus Ethernet cable. There's a Cat6 cable that I put an end on myself. And we'll plug that into our new network card, if it will ever focus. Okay, we'll plug that guy in. We'll power on the machine and get it running. Okay, so at this point I haven't yet unplugged the onboard NIC from my network, so we can restart our SSH session with the same IP address. Okay, so let's get logged in. And what we'll do once we're logged in is do a apt-get update, and we'll see if Ubuntu can pick up the drivers for this device. Not likely going to happen. We will probably have to manually download these to get it installed properly. So no new packages to upgrade. So it didn't pick up the drivers for the device, which we knew. Okay, so let's take a look at the hardware that we have. We'll do an LSHW, and we'll do a -C for the class, and we're going to select network for class. And we can see here that we have two NICs that are unclaimed. They don't have any drivers. So let's go and grab the drivers. We'll go over to realtek.com. We'll go to the menu on the left. We'll go to downloads, and we'll select communication network ICs. Now the strange thing about this is you can select the 2.5 gig link at the top, or you can go to the RTL 8168E. You'll notice there is no RTL 8125. That's because it's hiding inside the 8168 driver download section for some reason. So we'll go there, we'll download the one for obviously Linux because that's what we need. So we'll scroll down to that section. We'll pick the first one. It was updated fairly recently to be compatible with the latest kernels. Don't think it's compatible with kernel 5.6 and up, or actually it's 5.7. So that's fine. I've got Ubuntu 16 and it's not running on a later kernel. So once we have it downloaded, we'll use WinSCP to copy the driver package, the BZ2 file, over to our Linux server. We'll just drop it into the /tmp directory. You can pick any other directory if you want. It's not a big deal. So once that's completed, we'll jump on over to our SSH session. We'll navigate over to the temp folder, the temp directory that we dropped it in, and we'll unpack it with the tar command. And that will extract the BZ2 files into its own directory. And then we'll jump over to that directory. We'll take a quick look at the README file. This should give us some instructions on what we need to do. So I catted the file. It's too big for cat to navigate, so I do a less on that file. A little bit easier to navigate using less. So we can see here the first page, or the first section, it tells us to unpack the tarball, change to the directory, and if we're running the target kernel, which we are, it's less than 5.6, we just run autorun.sh as root or with sudo, and then we can use lsmod to see if the driver was successfully loaded. So that's what we're going to do. So let's run the autorun.sh and we'll let that build. Okay, so now that it's built, we'll do the lsmod. We'll grep 8125. And it shows up there. Awesome. So now if we check our ifconfig, we should see that we have 3 network cards. Our motherboard original one, that is EMP1S0, and 2 additionals. We can see that one of the new ones, the EMP30S0, has an IP address. That is because it's plugged into the network currently. So we will load a new SSH session with that IP address and see if we can get logged in. Okay, we can see here, yes, we can get logged in. So what this means is that we can disconnect our motherboard NIC that is connected to EMP1S0 and change the IP address for the new NIC to 192.168.0.10. And we can see here that it's only running at 1000 base T, so it's only connected to a gigabit switch right now. I have the 2.5 gigabit switch coming in the next couple days. Once that's here, we will connect that up. We'll do some speed tests. We'll do a quick review on that switch. I believe I got a QNAP one. I'll have to double check what I got. I ordered it a week ago or so. So once it's here, we'll get that all connected and see how that goes. Okay, so my SSH session window closed. So all we have done is we've gone to the etc/network directory. And in here, we are going to open up our interfaces config file. And we can see here inside there, we have our interface configured for the EMP1S0. So all we're going to do is keep the same configuration. We're just going to change EMP1 to EMP30 or EMP30, wherever it shows up. So in the auto line and the iFace line. Once that's done, we'll be able to reset the network services, and the new IP should take place on the new NIC. Okay, so that's done. So let's restart the network services. Okay, so restarting the network services doesn't seem to have taken effect, which is fine. It's likely that we're just connected on the SSH session that it won't drop it. So what we'll do is we'll force it. We'll bring down the Ethernet port. We'll wait 3 seconds and we'll bring it back up. So doing it this way, we shouldn't lose our SSH session because the SSH session will live for, I believe, about 10 seconds before it receives a timeout. So with just 3 seconds, bringing it down and then bringing it back up, the session should survive, which it did. And now we can see our IP address has moved over to the EMP30 network interface. Perfect. Now that's done. What we'll do is we will restart the machine, and we'll make sure that these settings survive a reboot. So I just logged into a new session here. I'm just double checking that the EMP30 S0 is in fact the correct IP address there, and then I'll go ahead and reboot. So I decided that during the reboot, I would go and pull the cable from the motherboard NIC. As you can see there's no more Ethernet cable in the back of the motherboard on that NIC. We power it back up and we're able to get in just fine. All of our services start up fresh. And then we can do a speed test. So I'm just going to copy this video file from the Linux server and copy it to my desktop. And there we have it. It's going pretty quick. It's actually a little bit faster than the onboard NIC. I would usually get 98, 99, sometimes 103, 104. So the extra 7 or 8 megabytes is pretty good, although we will be getting much faster speeds once we receive our 2.5 gig switch. And that's that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.